Welcome to another edition of the B.TS Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Getting back to some old formats that got me all this way. And I think it will be special to go take a trip down memory lane throughout this series, particularly my marriage series. It's a 4-part series that I want to go ahead and give to the people. Now, keep in mind, although I've been married for 6 years and counting, I don't want people to pay attention to that. I want them to know as a qualifier, I looked at my parents' 12-year marriage before they separated. I look at the elders in my church on how they need to move as a husband and idealistically what a wife is supposed to look like. And the great part about that is I'm still learning. So not only are you getting a 4-part series this month, let's see what happens down the road when we revisit this series. And I can provide you more context, more experience, and a few more pointers. Take this marriage series for what it is. Me trying to get back to the world so they can get on this side of the fence.
Today's episode is brought to you by FNX. If you're looking to lose weight, gain weight in the most healthiest way possible, FNX is where you need to go. You're talking about a section you're looking to gain weight. There's a section you're trying to lose weight. There's also even a section you're trying to better your performance when you're out there trying to be the best you. Please go to the link that is in this video. But also, you have to look the part. We're trying to unlock that inner athlete in you. Speaking of inner athlete, hey, you know how we get down. So, fill up your shopping carts. Once you get to checkout, use the promo code BTSI for 15% off. Again, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
Before we begin, I think it's only right we get back to some old habits. Let's start with quick hits, shall we? Congratulations to the king. LeBron James have officially broken the all-time scoring record that's been held for almost 40 years by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All he needed was 38,388 points to beat that record, and he did it tonight in LA against OKC. Nobody thought that record would be broken. I knew LeBron was going to be special when he got drafted. And this just shows it. 4 championship rings, 4 finals MVP, regular seasons MVP, and all that stuff. Now you can add scoring title of all time. Scored the most points in NBA history. So again, I do want to say congratulations to LeBron James. He deserves it. Now, from one sport to another, let's switch off basketball and get to football. This Sunday is the Super Bowl. Now, I'll openly admit, haven't been watching much football this season. Usually, if my team sucks, the Texans, they don't give me too much reasons to watch any type of sports, to be honest with you. But there's always next year. All right, there I go, sounding like a Cowboys fan. But nevertheless, who am I going for? Philadelphia Eagles or Kansas City Chiefs? That's a tough one because obviously Patrick Mahomes is going to do what he's do. But then again, Eagles have Jalen Hurts, H-Town, Bel Air High School. Who would I pick? I went up against the Eagles the last time and they made me regret that decision. You know what, let's do this. Let's save that for tomorrow evening when we do the all-world reaction to Lapeef. Then I'll have, not only will I have a team, I will tell you what the score is going to be and the point spread is going to be. But I can't wait. And another thing I cannot wait for is the halftime show. Yes, Rihanna. I expect nothing less. I don't care that you've been doing the Lord's work. That's why you ain't put out no music outside of Lift Me Up. I expect the best out of Rihanna because she has a long list of people to live up to. Whether it be Michael Jackson, whether it be Prince, you want to go in this generation, whether it be Bruno Mars, Beyonce, The Weeknd. Yeah, she got a lot to live up to, but she's built for this, so there's no reason for me to stress. Rihanna's gonna do her thing.
Today's episode is brought to you by Wavilo. Of course, you guys see me with my Bacardi watch. Looks nice, don't it? But if I wanted to go out, just a casual wear, and it's kind of chilly outside, not bad. Let's add some more color to it. That's gonna look good for the photo shoot. Get with the brand that's versatile, that can cover you in all areas of fashion for men and women. So go to the link that's in this video, fill up your shopping carts. Once you do, the promo code is BTSI for 50% off. I repeat, BTSI for 50% off at checkout.
Let's get into the episode. When it comes to this marriage thing, people tend to get this wrong a lot. They tend to screw it up because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to play their positions. They don't know to rely on each other to do their jobs. That'd be the main problem. And also another big issue is a lot of people don't know who they are and what they're supposed to do before they get in that dating round. All they know is you get into dating, you try to filter out through the person you want, but you don't know if you're even ready yourself to be in that market. So with this marriage series, we're not going to jump to the wedding bells. We're not going to jump to the tuxedo. We're not even going to jump to what happens after the wedding. I think the best part is to start from the beginning, the way beginning. I mean, before you even get in the dating market, you don't even know your spouse exists. That's the step we need to start with for part 1 of 4, the marriage series. In this part, there's 5 steps. The first step is know your strengths. When it comes to knowing your strengths, you got to know what you're good at and how you can help somebody else who so happens to be weak in a certain department. And you just got to find out where you fit and how you can be utilized in your relationship. So that's why it's a good idea for you to know your strength. Regarding weaknesses, you do need to know your weaknesses because you need to turn that into your strength. A lot of people tend to balance out their weight to strength. They're like, you know what? I got the strength handle. I don't need to focus on the weak part. That's not true. On the outside looking in, believe it or not, your weakness could determine if this marriage is going to succeed or fail. You don't want to be the one that has put all your focus, all your investment in your strength, and you neglected what could ultimately do you in. So, know your weakness and turn it into your strength. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of people don't know about that. I'm letting you guys know. Know your role, know your position, and prepare yourself for that position as well. What do I mean by that? You need standards, people. Standards. Yes. You need to set 3 standards for yourself regarding staying on your own, building up to find your wife. What are some 3 things that is non-negotiable? 3 things that describes you. Where you hear it, you think of that person. I need a minimum of 3. Now, for example, let's get certain things out of the way. Let's get the big 3 out the way. For the man, they need to provide stability, provision, protection. Now get that out the way. For women, they need to be feminine, submissive, cooperative. Now get that out the way. We all know a man's supposed to have that and a woman's supposed to have that. So let's kind of keep the obvious answers out. So the question is, what makes you you? Who are you? What traits describe you? Are you kind? Are you respectful? Do you have discernment? Are you appealing? Are you a magnet to positivity? What are these 3 things that describe you? Because you're ultimately going to take that to the dating market. Matter of fact, just like when you go into an establishment, a lot of a lot of people that work there, the employees, have a name badge. So What 3 things describe you? That's your name badge for when you go introduce yourself to your potential significant other. And with the introduction, there needs to come some type of resume. What resume do you mean? Who are you? What have you been doing for these X amount of years before we met? What do you plan to do next year, 5 years, 10 years from now? So the question is, what do? You need to plan the execution. With planning and the execution, just like I mentioned a moment ago, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? And what are your long-term goals and what is your short-term goals? And also, where does that person fit within your 5 or 10-year plan? Can't forget that. Now that you know what your name is, who you are, and what your resume needs to be padded with, it's time to execute that plan and put it into play, because you need longevity. You can't just go in the dating market and say, oh, I'm going to make $150,000. I'm live in this house. I want to drive this car. I want to invest in these businesses. You can't do that with your resume looking 1 month old. Nope, or not even 6 months old. I need years, hard work, dedication towards your purpose, your dreams, your goals, and what milestones you hit. That's all comes into play. So please know your role. 3 standards of who you are. That's the role you play. And also another role that you're going to play is what you're doing right now, what you've been doing previously, or what you plan on to do in the future. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is know your role. Now, the next one, create your spouse. Create your spouse. Now, this is the fun part. One of my favorite games is obviously 2K. Some of y'all seen me play it before. The best part is my player mode. I get to hold the phone, create my upload my avatar. I go 90 degrees that way, and then a whole 180 degrees that way. Make sure they capture my angles. Then I get to go to the attributes and see, do I want to be a shooter, do I want to be a playmaker, or whatever the case may be, or also my agility, my verticals, my speed. All of that is in 2K. Now, the reason I bring all that up is because you're going to use the same idea regarding looking for a spouse. You need to study your compatibilities. To your yin, you need a yang. What type of woman will fit in your program? What type of woman will fit you? You gotta find somebody that you're compatible with. And next up, you need to learn the difference between your standards and your preferences. Big difference. You don't compromise your standards because those are your non-negotiables. Doing that will mean you settle for less. Now, your preferences, it can be whatever you want. Here's the most common thing you hear from women. He needs to make 6 figures. He needs to be 6 feet tall. He needs to have 6-pack. He needs to, I'm not gonna say that, y'all just some nasty pervs. And on the men's part, regarding the woman, one thing they will say is she needs to be fit. She needs to have a small waist. She needs to have a big butt. She needs to do X, Y, Z in the bedroom. So you have an idea of what is being thrown out there. Keep in mind, all the things I just listed, those are preferences. Those are not standards, because those can be compromised at any time. Matter of fact, you compromise those, and sometimes people focus on the preferences that tends to keep them blocked away from their blessings. Let's get to your 3 standards. Like I said, we already got 3 standards that we set for ourselves. The question is, what are the 3 standards that you want in a spouse? What are your non-negotiables as far as what you're going to tolerate with, what you're going to put up with, but truth be told, what you're looking to be with, grow with forever and ever. So you got to state your standards of what you want in a man, what you want in a woman. You have to state that and you have to stick to it. And just make sure it's not your preferential treatment. I need 3 standards minimum so you can have some type of success. As far as your preferences, you can have whatever you want. You can create however you want your individual to be, but keep in mind, don't let that be the reason why you miss your blessing and you're not in the market, or the one person you're supposed to be with have passed you by. Now, next and finally is research your spouse. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. You got to know everything about her as much as you can. And the best thing to do is look for people that is within your circle or that's in the same vicinity as yours, like all the time. Where are the places that your spouse will love to frequent? You guys go to work together, you guys go to school together, you guys may go to church, mosque, volunteer work, and so on and so forth. These are areas that you're already constantly frequent and you see this individual, so you might as well keep that in mind. If you're a man, you need to plan your first approach. If you're a woman, you need to plan to put yourself in position to be found. Let's say if a woman goes to a lounge, which we'll get into next week as far as your first dates or what the case may be. Well, when you get into a lounge and you're just chilling, minding your own business, you're setting yourself up because the person that you're interested, you know they frequent that place a lot or whatever the case may be, and you're just putting yourself or setting yourself up to be chosen and to be found. All right. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for part 1 of the marriage series. Know your strengths, your weaknesses, your roles, create your spouse, research your spouse. And just to let you guys know, we are doing this marriage series on Clubhouse as well, every Tuesday for the remainder of the month. I did part 1 this Tuesday. We're going to do part 2. One thing we're going to talk about is the dating market, what goes on in the dating market, how you need to prepare yourself for these first 3 days, what locations to go to, and how to conversate with your significant other, just so you'll know this is the person you want to be with or not.
Today's episode is brought to you by Brytn Smile. Now, you guys need to keep your mouths clean, keep your mouths white, and keep your mouths bright between dentist visits. I get it, I understand. So here's where Brytn Smile come into play. Yes, good old Brytn Smile. Now, in this whitening kit, it comes with a multitude of things that you need. Starters, you're going to need a user manual on how to operate the devices that come with it. Next up, you have a shade chart to keep you posted on where your teeth fall on the chart. That is very beneficial. Also, these gel pens. Put the gel on each tooth, do it correctly, follow the manual. And well, you know, we have a charger. It comes with a charger. I wonder why. That's right, an LED mouthpiece. This is very beneficial, y'all, as y'all can see. For the blue, it is on for 15 minutes. And once that is done, let's go purple, pink, whatever color you prefer to call it. Let's do that for 10 minutes. Go to Brytn Smile. The link is located in the description. Grab a kit, put in your shopping cart, and when you get to the checkout, the promo code is BTSI for 25% off. Again, BTSI for 25% off.
One more thing before we go. I don't know if you guys can see this. We'll bring this down real quick. There you go. That's a Chat Ninja's shirt. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this shirt is because we're in the process of keeping it 100. Keeping it 100 is an initiative that I started my own. The reason why is because I started something as a New Year's resolution. I think I brought it up on one stream. That I want to take $100 each month and spend it with a black-owned business. That way, the following year we can kick it up to probably 200 or 250. Then we just keep on going, so on and so forth, till we eventually name it. Hey, let's keep it a stack. But right now, we're just gonna keep it 100. I donated my first $100. Well, donated some. I bought some items, a pair of clothing from a black-owned business, Real Clothing, by the way. May have to go in there again. The reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is because if there's black-owned businesses you want me to look into and you will ultimately want me to support, you have to let me know as soon as possible so I can go ahead and get to that. Better yet, feel free, if you're a black-owned business owner and you have a business, email it to me at thebtsishow@gmail.com. That's THEBTSISHOW@gmail.com. That way, I want the black-owned businesses to email me their stores, the links, the products, so that way I can look at it, I can view it, I can see what I like, what I don't like, and I can spend $100 on that merchandise. That's what I'm doing this year, supporting black-owned businesses. So hopefully I hope a lot of you guys will join me in that walk as well. Other than that, people, it's been a while since I did a format like this. I've just been streaming and that type of stuff. It's kind of refreshing, kind of cool, but I'm tired. Matter of fact, it is, what time is it? 3:12 in the morning? Nah, I'm going to sleep. So, I do want to take this moment to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. We'll be back later on this week or next week. So, this is the B.TS Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.